If we have carbon 14, how many protons? 6. How many electrons? Or not electrons, sorry, neutrons. 8. And what does 6 plus 8 equal? 14. Aha. So we're noticing something. And what do you notice? Shh. What is the same about all of these carbons? What is the same? The protons are always the same. If an element has 6 protons, it is carbon. Can't be anything different. If it all of a sudden gets an extra proton and becomes 7 protons, it's no longer carbon. It becomes nitrogen, just like we drew in the Bohr model earlier. Okay? Okay, so we're going to fill those in on our sheet. Whoops, wrong one. So we're here. Why is it not moving for me? Please be nice. Okay, there we go. So when we have the protons, what are the protons? That is the what number? That is our atomic number. And that 12, what is that 12? That is our mass number. Do you remember the mass of a proton? Do you remember what the mass of a proton is? One something. AMU. What does AMU stand for? Yes, atomic mass unit. What's the mass of a neutron then? It's the same. So if we add up 1 AMU for every proton and 1 AMU for every neutron, we get our mass number. Okay, the mass number is the protons plus the neutrons. Protons plus neutrons is the mass number, as opposed to the atomic number, which is the number of protons. Is good? Okay. We are on page 84. Now we're going to let Tyler show us how to write this, but when we write, this is called isotope notation. And when we write isotope notation, we write the symbol for the element, which is C. And then to the top left, we write the mass number. And at the bottom left, we write the atomic number. So if I wanted to tell you that this is carbon with 6 neutrons, I will write C with a 12 at the top and a 6 at the bottom on the left. One of the reasons why it's really nice to write the bigger number up top and the smaller number down below is if you take 12 and you subtract 6, what do you get? You get 6, and that is 6 neutrons. So you have 12, which is the protons plus neutrons. You have 6 down below, which is the number of protons. And if you take 12 minus 6, you get 6 neutrons. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay, let's let Tyler talk to us again. So you need to know both of those notations. You need to know how to write the name, dash, mass, and you need to be able to write symbol, mass, protons. Yeah? So what that would look like then, you need to be able to write, oh, it's not moving again. Why is it not moving? Oh, okay, here we go. You need to be able to write name, dash, mass, and you need to be able to write symbol, and you put the mass up here, and you put the protons here. Yeah? So for example, you could have nitrogen dash 15. Okay? And if we did the symbol for that, that would be N. Remember, this is the mass. Where does the mass go on the symbol? Top left. So the 15 goes here, and then nitrogen's atomic number is 7, so we put a 7 for the number of protons. Here's a little challenge for you. See if you can discuss with your partner and figure out how many neutrons are in this nitrogen. How many neutrons? See if you can figure out how many neutrons. 7? That's how many protons there are.
Yo! Can't draw that, dude. You draw it. Why would you draw that? Oh my god. That's so bad. How could you possibly?
How many people feel like they know how to find the number of neutrons? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. To find the number of neutrons, you take the mass and you subtract the protons. And what number do we get? 15 minus 7 is 8 neutrons. Okay, if you don't get that, it's okay. We're going to practice a lot more, but let's let Tyler finish telling us about these things. Oh, and in the meantime, we can write down what number should we be filling in here at the top of carbon for carbon 13? That should be carbon 13. And what number goes at the bottom?
6.
The 6. So you'll notice we don't write the number of neutrons anywhere. Okay? We never write down the number of neutrons in the symbol or the name. We have to figure them out by doing subtraction. All right, and carbon 14, you'll write the C. What goes at the top of carbon?
14.
14, the mass. And what goes at the bottom of carbon? 6. Okay?
Oh my god. So help me.
Do you notice that? Every single calcium atom has 20 protons. 20 plus 20 is 40. 20 plus 22 is
42.
42. 20 plus 23 is
43.
43. So that's how we get the mass number, is we add the protons and the neutrons. Okay, so let's fill that in. Okay, so we have 20. That's the atomic number. That's our number of protons. If we have calcium 43, our protons are 20 because it's always 20 for calcium. How would you figure out the number of neutrons? 43 minus 20 is 23. Now we have a calcium with a 20 protons and 24 electrons. That's going to be called calcium
44.
dash. Yes. Kai, you have your hand up?
Oh,
Yes?
why are we adding?
Why are we adding what? Oh, the neutrons and protons. That gives us the mass of the atom. Because each proton has a mass of 1, each neutron has a mass of 1. So if we add them together, we get the mass of the atom. Does that make sense? And the electrons weigh next to nothing. So we kind of just ignore the electrons. So basically what we're doing is we're saying, can we find the mass of this particular atom of calcium? And this particular atom, the one we're looking at right now, has a mass of 20 AMU plus 24 AMU, which is, sorry, not 24, 44 AMU. And we would write its symbol, calcium. Where does the 20 go? Top or bottom? Bottom. And where does the 44 go?
Top.
At the top. And where does the 24 go?
At the bottom.
Nowhere. 24 does not go in the symbol. We don't write the neutrons in the symbol. Okay? What do we call all of these different versions? We call them, each one is a different what? Isotope. Isotope. Okay. Close that. And we're going to jump to page. We're going to jump to page 90. There are 3 useful things for you this year on the periodic table. The atomic number is useful. What does the atomic number tell you? The number of protons. It tells you something else as well. What else does it tell you? It tells you the number of electrons in an atom. The symbol is useful. The name is useful. The atomic mass for you this year, useless for grade 9. I want you to think about this. Do you remember we were calculating our mass numbers? Yes? Mass numbers is the numbers of protons plus the numbers of neutrons. How on earth could we get a number like 28.1? Do we have 0.1 of a proton or 0.1 of a neutron? So we're going to talk about that more next day. I believe that you know, I believe you. But we're going to talk more about it next day. But for today, we're just going to say the atomic mass is useless. Do not use that number. Okay? Do not use this number. I never want to see a mass with a decimal place. It should always be a whole number because it's always a number of protons plus a number of neutrons, and those are all whole numbers. So what we're going to do in here is we've got a couple of little instant practice things where you're going to look up hydrogen. You'll look up its symbol, which is H. You'll look up its atomic number, which is 1. And you'll look up and you'll say, oh, hey, I know that the atomic number and the number of protons are equal to each other, right? So these are going to be the same. I'm going to let you do the rest of those, but let's take a look at the next one. Mass number. Mass number is protons plus neutrons. You can rearrange that formula 2 different ways. If you have the mass number and the number of neutrons, you can find the number of protons. If you have the mass number and the number of protons, you can find the number of neutrons. So let's try a couple of examples here. Okay, hydrogen, we know its symbol is H. Remember, the mass number is the protons plus the neutrons. We can look up the atomic number of hydrogen. It is 1. That's on our periodic table. So how many protons does hydrogen have? 1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say, if I have the number of protons and the number of neutrons, that is going to give me my mass number. Yes? So 1 plus 0 equals 1. Okay, let's do the second one just for argument's sake. Chromium. Please look up the symbol for chromium on your periodic table. CR, very good. And what is the atomic number for chromium? 24. Everyone get 24? I'm just going to double check. Chromium 24. Yes. So what else can we fill in here? What else can we fill in here? Number of protons, because those two are equal. That's 24. How would we find the number of neutrons? Yes. Yes, we take the mass. The number of neutrons is the mass minus the protons. Yeah? So we take 54 minus, 52 minus 24. And that equals 52 minus 20 is 32 minus 4 is 28. You can use a calculator for these calculations if you want to. You can start bringing a calculator to class. Okay, if you have just like a little cheapo calculator, that's all you need. So what I would like you guys to try now is I would like you to try pages. Oh, actually, and then the other thing is just electrons. The only thing different about the electrons is that the atomic number and the number of protons is the same as the number of electrons. So super easy. Hydrogen has an atomic number of 1, so the number of protons is 1, so the number of electrons is 1. So you guys can now complete pages 90, 91, and 92. And in fact, you can probably do 93 as well. Pages 90 to 93. That's what I'm trying to say. There we go.
I'm kidding.
Serious alligator. Why so serious?
Why so serious?
Yeah. No, I. No.
And if anyone would like to borrow a calculator just for today, I do have a few lenders.
Saying basically.
Hello.
I only think I'm still fine. Dude, I made a Hawk video in front of my family. I was so mad, dude. I didn't want to ever hear that joke again in this house. Bro. I say Hawk, you say Tua. That's what I said. I got so much trouble.
Your mom came back.
My dad got that thing.
Hey, stop with the stupid TikTok jokes. Got my shit hot.
Bro, I didn't even say Hawk, dude. I just said I say Hawk.
What did you say it to your?
I said it to my dad. Let's do it together.
No. You know what you just said next. You gotta stop making me jokes. You know what you just said? Why so serious?
No. Dude, my teammate literally went up to his dad and said something about edging, bro. And he like, so my coach, he said he was like edging. And then my coach was like, yo, Max, edging. Yeah, I was like this. I was like,
Oh, okay. So it's a celebration.
Technically, it's not busting, it's on the edge. She's like YouTube. No, not busted. Not busted. Number
Why so serious?
Hang on, are you?
Yo, it was my lead PvP.
What are you gonna do with that?
Why are you thinking about that? Why are you thinking about that?
Bro, it's crafty.
Yes.
We're going jaded.
Oh yeah, and then he fractured his arm on it. He fractured her. He fractured. I don't even know how that happened.
90 to 93.
Yes.
Six.
So the mass is the proton supposed to be around 6. Well, that's a problem. 6 plus 7 is 13.
Next.
I'm so excited to go home. I'm gonna grab Robbie. Actually, no, I'm just gonna go on my Switch. Yeah, I'm done my. Dude, I saw my Switch was broken. It was lagging so bad. It was like the
How old is your Switch?
It's like there's like 5, 6 years old. Dude, it started like like the Nintendo logo started going rainbow. It was like fucking freaking out. But then I slept in the retarded of the night and
I've been charging my Nintendo Switch in years.
the battery barely lasts.
Bro, I'm so good at Mario Odyssey. I have like so many.
Oh yeah, the new Switch.
Have you heard about the PS5 Plus?
Oh yeah.
It's like another PS5.
Folks, I got everybody sort of having the same question, so hopefully if you're having this question, I will be able to help you with it all together, okay? And mostly it's happening when people are getting to carbon, okay, on page 91. Okay, so we have carbon, and we know that the atomic number of carbon is 6. So that means that the protons are 6. We are told that the mass number, that the number of protons is 7. So the protons plus neutrons is 13. And the reason this is causing people distress is because they are looking at carbon and they're saying, oh, hang on, but the mass is 12. Why is it 13? Tomorrow, we're going to be taking a look at what this number is. Remember what I said about atomic mass? It is useless to you in grade 9. Ignore it. What it really is, it is the average of all the isotopes, all the different versions of carbon in the universe. So if you take all the atoms and you average their mass, you will get 12.0. If you take all of silicon's atoms and average them out, you'll get 28.1. But when you're doing your exercises here, this is a specific isotope. This isn't just any old carbon atom. It's not an average carbon atom. It is carbon 13. This is carbon with a mass of 13. You will always be finding the mass of a specific isotope. And remember, up here, I should never see 1.0 because there are never decimals in the mass number. There are decimals in the average atomic mass, but not in the mass number. And if you're confused by that, don't worry. You can talk to me more about it. We'll talk about it more next day as well, because it can be a bit confusing. Yeah. Anyone want more of an explanation?
I haven't leave the LeBron James on the side like it's only 2 weeks.
That was actually.
I got no.
That's a job for the night, dude. Yeah. Oh, she's such stupid fun in the kid was on. Still prime, still water, still swim.
Oh yeah, still.
Dog, beach, with dolphin parents. Was Germans.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, let's just write 15.
How are you telling me just off the number of books?
Oh, wait.
Oh, so number of protons.
56. Yeah, we got this one out. Hold back. CO.
See, I said 58, I wrote 59, but like,
It doesn't matter.
but look, if 59 minus 27, it's not 32, it is. Oh, wait, no, it is.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's minus 56 and it's 80, so it's much bigger.
Right.
No, 1, 5, 5. Yeah. Right. Now they're easy. Yeah, let's go with now.
Imagine being 1. Get it?
So.
Yeah, who's that?
Yes,
That's.
What rank are you in Rock?
Yeah.
What rank are you?
Like season. Bro, I peaked like a champ too. If I grind, if I get grind, I could probably get to like GC. My duo was like my duo is C3 right now.
Bro's not playing.
So you're like I think he has another duo too. Who's your duo? You don't know what's that. He's tough. Been playing since like 2019, 20 even earlier, like 2017.
Played on like
Reset?
slippery shot. I can.
There's no excuses, bro. There's no excuses. I was seeing that shit on the Switch.
I didn't play on control.
Bro, we play on keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing on all the games. I think my Switch, I think I peaked that in Champ 2 for Champ 3. I need to get onto my Switch. That's what I was trying to do. No, that's so valuable.
Yeah.
So folks, your homework is just 19 to 93. That's great. If not, you have a little bit of homework.
Yeah.
19 to 93. It's on the board there.
I think it's like
the gold. You know, like the dragon.
oh, I think so. I think I have a black.
Should I put in a black?
Yeah, we'll put it right. I'll check.
I kind of good.
Well, I don't have any. I don't have any. Oh, we're back.
Oh. You finished this.